One of the most harmful attitudes that the chronically ill have to face is, and I will say, abusive psychological invalidation argument that accuses the chronically ill of causing their own illness for the secondary gains brought on by the sick role. So you'll see a lot of doctors claiming that the secondary gains, benefits that you get from being ill, are keeping you sick. A subconscious reason why we choose to keep our current conditions. We feel deep down we have more to gain from keeping the condition than making a change. This is an optimal being account. A lot of times it's attention from friends and family, attention that we don't get when we are healthy, allegedly. That we stay sick so that we can get this attention from people. Even in EFT, which can be helpful for some people, this is why I couldn't really buy into it, is because of this toxic beliefs that I kept finding. Clients often subconsciously hold on to problems because of hidden, they get attention. Understanding secondary gain in chronic illness, the Tao, optimizing mental health. Examples of secondary gain, attention and support. All that support that we get from everyone for our poorly understood chronic illnesses that are super stigmatized. No one even believes us, but we're getting so much support, right? Attention and care from our communities and loved ones. And then we get to avoid responsibilities because, being chronically ill doesn't come with a ton of really shitty responsibilities. No. And it's an excuse for not achieving specific goals. So this is psychological abuse, these ideas. They're used to dismiss and invalidate the normal and tragic consequences of normal and tragic things that happen to people. They're used to blame the patients and blame the sick people so that everyone else gets to feel safer and more comfortable about the fact that someone they love and care about isn't getting better and is permanently sick or disabled, or why Western medicine or Eastern medicine hasn't been able to help. If you can blame the patient, it makes it easier and better for everyone else. Unless the patient can cure themselves, then you could constantly say that they're just not doing it right. And you never have to accept the fact that chronic illness happens, disability happens, it can happen to anyone, it can happen to you, and that Western medicine and medicine in general does not have answers for every illness. And there is a huge gray area between being perfectly healthy and being dead. But instead of sit with the discomfort of that reality, we don't currently have cures to everything. Psychology, which of course never had any harmful beliefs and has never been wrong about anything, has come up with these concepts of patients getting secondary gains from being sick and disabled and people keeping themselves sick so they can benefit from the sick role. Let's use me an example of how well this works. So here I am, I'm the blonde. This is an Old Navy commercial that aired in 2018 when I moved to LA. I was so happy. Here's a picture of me when I starred in a paper when I started my very first professional musical production, Guys and Dolls. It was so fun. Here's just a random shot of me modeling here's me performing an operatic aria live at one of my friends' performances. But all this to say, and I've got way more credits and pictures and whatever, but I was working as a professional model, actor, and singer in Los Angeles before I became disabled. Do you really think that I get more attention now that I cannot be a professional performer than when I was out modeling, acting, and singing professionally in Los Angeles or anywhere? I can't even talk about the cause of my main disability because it happened to my genital area. It's a complete secret. That's why the name of this account is My Secret Life of Pain, is because I'm severely disabled. It impacts every waking moment and all aspects of my life. I can't even talk about it. No one has heard of pudendal neuralgia. So when I tell my friends and family, they don't realize how debilitating and disabling and mortifying it is. I have not gotten attention or support for this tragedy that happened to me. I have not gotten attention or support for being chronically ill or having any kinds of disabilities. So I call bullshit on this whole paradigm. It's victim blaming. It's all about snake oil salesmen trying to get money off of vulnerable, desperate people by convincing them that they're understudied, underfunded chronic illnesses and diseases, and oftentimes exacerbated by medical misogyny, medical stigma, where doctors aren't taking you seriously and aren't giving you the full range of medical treatments that are possible, often compounded by problems in the American healthcare system, where marginalized groups are dismissed and medically gaslit. We don't have to acknowledge any of that if we blame the patient for not getting better, if we can claim that they're doing it for attention. If you talk to to 100 chronically ill people and you ask them what kind of love and support they got from their friends and family when they were healthy versus now that they're sick, I think you're going to find something really interesting. I think you're going to find that all of us say we got more support and positive attention from our loved ones when we were able to reciprocate effort, when we were able to show up in other people's lives, when we were able to put on a happy face because we truly were happy. Now that we are often very sick, very stressed, in pain, in need, we've actually lost attention. We've lost support. We are isolated. We are not surrounded by caring and love and support indefinitely for our disabilities and chronic pain. I mean, it's sick what you guys are doing. Sorry, not my chronically ill friends, the people who are perpetuating this harmful narrative.